After the KO win on Max Holloway, Ilia Topuria left the featherweight division in shambles. In shambles. I repeat, Diego is probably next, considering he was the backup fighter for the Max and Ilia fight. Featherweight Leon Edwards was a bit intimidated in the backstage because they were in the same card too.
Actually, Topuria come up to me in the changing rooms. Actually, he said it's just another day of sparring, and that's kind of stuck into me. His mindset going into fights is different, bro. He's relaxed. He was already counting his money before even going into the fight. That's how relaxed he was. He had his top off. He's chilling, cracking jokes.
And Volk is just chilling, is what I thought. He wants the immediate rematch. No. Volk, please, no.
Volkanovski's in the cage after the fight. I mean, UFC's not going to have someone stand in the cage after the fight unless that's the next fight. They're not going to let someone just go up there. So that looks like what's going to be next. Ilia versus Volkanovski, which I really wasn't even thinking about that fight, but it does interest me if Volk is healthy, in a good spot mentally, coming in with that old school Volk mindset.
Alright, I broke this video up into sections because that's just how it is. Why he would just die next. I hate to call that hitter that, but that's what it is. Nothing has really changed. If anything, it got worse. Topuria just showed he's a whole level above Max and Volk. I don't blame Volk though. His life is fighting and he deserves to still be at the top. But, you know, at the top, there's a big difference between number 1 and number 2. I can see how he looks and feels irrational especially from the fans' perspective. His whole life is revolved around fighting, his whole career. His environment is full of his teammates supporting him and everyone in the gym supporting him, his friends and family, and basically the whole country of Australia supporting him too. So, yeah, you can't really blame his words.
Now we could just, I'm just going to enjoy him. So he seemed like in a pretty good mood. So he didn't have to try and hype up anything for the cameras. Maybe he's in a position now. He's like, I don't need to do any of that. Like I've always known that the only way I lose is if I get caught. That's just how I've always, like maybe with Islam, he can take you into deep waters, and then you might be able to have the close fight like we did. There's only very, very few fighters. I don't think anyone in my division that can do that with me, to beat me in the decision, actually beat me. But I've always known everyone can get caught. So I just wish, I think me fighting so soon later, maybe I just didn't get to fight my fight. Doesn't mean he couldn't catch me. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter about resume. Yeah, Volk did. He did defend the belt like 4 or 5 times, and he was undefeated in featherweight. But still, I forgot who said it. You are only as good as your last fight. Your recent KO loss speaks way more than what you did earlier than that. And it sucks because this sport moves way too fast. And I hate to think that everything he's done before the KO is redundant, but it kinda is. Alright, so that's the end of that depressing note. Now we can jump into the section that everyone, well, not everyone, but most Volk fans love to hear about. How he can win the rematch. Break his ties with Prime. Alright, this is a very stupid start, but it's a start regardless. Okay, you gotta do it, Volk. You gotta break your ties with Logan Paul and KSI. You should not be an official Prime athlete. I'm pretty sure you don't even have the power to break the contract because I'm pretty sure your manager's in charge of that, but find a way, Volk. Please, find a way, okay? Just watching that Cooking with Volk vlog, just because they are an influencer doesn't mean they go along with you. And it's very weird that the fighter out of these 3 in the video is the respectful one.
Do I have a family? Yeah? 3 girls. Sorry, I've got 2 girls and 1 on the way.
This is great. You're like a real dad. You cook for your family.
I love it, man. I really do.
When I was like 6 or 7 and he actually didn't come back.
Because that could be...
I don't know.
We're seasoning the beef. We're rolling. No. Keep it rolling. We're doing it live.
It tastes like you didn't actually lose that fight to Islam. It tastes, so you know that taste?
Don't be an asshole.
What Volk wants, Volk gets. You ever been choked out by a If you were to kill us right now, how would you do it?
Strangle.
Okay, you're wrestling Volk. There's a chance Volk's cardio is better, so wrestling is there. A much better chance than the stand-up, obviously. I know Topuria's ground game is better than his stand-up game, but hear me out, okay? If they go to the ground game, of course, the first thing you think of is Topuria is just gonna ragdoll and submit Volkanovski. But wrestling tires you out way more than striking. So if Alex is smart in his training camp, if he can find a way to just tire and really out-wrestle Topuria and just be really aggressive in the ground, it might be a good strategy. It's better than trying to outstrike Topuria. And when it comes to round 4, surely Topuria's knockout power is too diminished to hurt Alex, and Alex could win by decision. That's all I can think of. But surely he trains with Islam and therefore Khabib, so he's basically undefeatable, and that just bumps the rate of Alex beating Topuria. But it's very unlikely. But Alex and Islam are in good terms. Well, Alex is in good terms with everyone. But if he can find a way to implement Islam and Khabib into his training camp, Alex might be unstoppable. Also, a bit of critique for this one is if you actually do end up having the rematch, Volk versus Topuria 2, please don't lead kick him anymore. I mean, you can do the, amazing 5-star UFC 5 strat of the lead low kick, but lead high kick and lead body kick, yeah, don't do that. I mean, I explained this months ago in the first fight, so.
Had Alexander spinning around. I don't know why he's using a body kick as a counter shot. It's dangerous if somebody's coming in.
Bam's a lot of left kicks. My opinion about why that was probably going on, I didn't get to ask him, is when you're fighting someone that's grounded, wants to wait and then counter you, if you throw a ton of body kicks, it ties up their arms, okay? It makes it so that they don't get to just punch whenever they want. They have to connect to the floor, block this, and then try to counter me afterwards. And typically, if I'm good enough, I can really connect them to the floor and get myself out of the way quick enough. I kind of not knew, but I started to have a little bit of not a great feeling in the second round when Ilya started to pick it up. Because in round 1, it seemed oh, okay, I can't really tell if Ilya is holding back because he knows it's a 5-round fight, or if Ilya just can't find Volk with any of the attacks that he's trying to get. Turns out he was holding back. Boom, Ilya's cool, he's fine with everything. He starts to kind of find things a little bit, gets Volk against the cage, and then it was just a matter of Volk being the mover guy, needs to set first. Ilya's already set. Throws the right hand, knocks Volk out. We all hate to see it.
Max also does it too because Herbert did a great job with that kick back in the prelim days. I think it was Herbert. Body kicks isn't gonna do shit. It's okay because it's a lead body kick from Orthodox, so he's getting the best value of range finding and damage kicking Ilya's open side, but still.
That was the hardest punch I ever took in my experience inside the cage. Yeah, without any, I didn't see that kick coming,
I know it's just a great weapon to use anyway in the stand-up, but I think it's better to just not use it because Ilya is also a learning fighter. That's like every fighter after Izzy tries the bait against the fence move on Pereira. Alex's biggest learning curve after that is head movement because he just got knocked out for not having it. And you can see the learning curve before and after from the Khalil Roundtree fight, how much better his head movement is. The same goes for Topuria. He got too lost in the sauce with his boxing combinations where he was in direct kickboxing head kick distance. So he's going to be so much more aware of that. That's a little technical tip from a dude behind a screen, so please don't take this seriously, and that is all. Please don't. Not yet, Volk. Please pad out, at least one fight before going for the title shot against Topuria again.